Right now, there is an Israeli, U.S., Argentina-led plot to basically totally flip over any government in South America that is not aligned with Israel. And this has been going on for a while, but now things are really starting to kind of leak out to the press. So just yesterday, Mexico's president, Claudia Sheinbaum, she ended up posting, she made this statement yesterday, and it's been garnering a lot of attention. And she went ahead and she said that there is, she's blaming the far right for an offensive. On Monday, she said that far-right sectors in the United States are coordinating with domestic groups to attack her government, escalating her rhetoric against Mexico's largest trading partner. The remarks follow a weekend rally where Sheinbaum denounced alleged interference by U.S. government agencies and business interests. I believe it is sectors of the far right in the United States who want a bad relationship with Mexico because of ideological differences, she told the press conference. The leftist president says she does not believe the attacks are being orchestrated by her U.S. counterpart Donald Trump. Relations between the two nations have been strained. Tensions escalated in April after the U.S. Department of Justice indicted 10 Mexican officials for drug trafficking charges, which is so funny that it mentions that that the United States took action against on drug trafficking charges, because now I'm going to go ahead and show you this article. And actually, I had my my Brazilian friend sent me this article, and he was telling me that this has been kind of going viral in South America or in Brazil. So I was like, okay, let me go ahead and read it. And it's called Hondurasgate. And basically what's going on right now is Netanyahu, Javier Milei of Argentina, and Donald Trump are working together to flip these governments. The way they've been doing it is basically just, of course, through blackmail, through bribery, through everything that we already know about. And, of course, it always involves Zionism. So this right here, this is the former president of Honduras, and he was actually released back in 2025. He was pardoned by Donald Trump. He was charged with drug trafficking, and he was charged in the United States in 2024, and then he was released in 2025. So why would Donald Trump release him? What was the point of that? Why would Donald Trump pardon him? The article goes on, and it says that the United States and Israel, with the help of Honduras, are allegedly positioning themselves on a geopolitical chessboard to control spheres of influence in Latin America. It goes on and it says the former Honduras president, Juan Orlando Hernandez, pardoned by Donald Trump from his 45-year sentence for drug trafficking, with the support of Republican president himself, his Argentine counterpart Javier Milei, and the current Honduran administration, are conspiring to create a channel for disseminating fake news with the intention of spreading misinformation to destabilize the governments of Brazil, Colombia, and Mexico. Isn't that interesting? Now, what do they all have in common? Their ideologies and support for Palestine. The second installment of the Hondurasgate scandal of the 3 released so far include a recording of an alleged conversation between Hernandez, who had become an operative in the region for the U.S. president, and the current president and vice president of Honduras. The objective to undermine the administrations of Claudia Sheinbaum and Gustavo Petro, both of whom adhere to left-wing ideology. So where does Israel tie into this? I mean, we obviously know that if they flip it into, far right or right-wing governments, then they'll be pro-Israel because they want to install puppets from Israel. But where does Israel directly play a role? Well, we'll scroll down a little bit. Netanyahu's intervention. Hernandez, known as JOH, was president of Honduras from 2014 to 2022 for the Conservative National Party. Those were years of cooperation with the U.S. in the fight against drug trafficking, or at least that was the appearance he sought to project. In 2024, he was sentenced in Manhattan to 45 years in prison for associating for more than a decade with drug traffickers who paid him bribes to ensure that more than 400 tons of cocaine reached the northern border of Rio Grande. 3 years earlier, his brother had been sentenced to life imprisonment for the same crime. So anyways, it goes on, and here's the part that's interesting. It says that in one of the recordings, Hernandez explained it directly, though without revealing his interlocutor. The pardon money didn't even come from you. It came from a group of rabbis and people who supported Israel. In another audio recording, he says that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had everything to do with his release and the negotiations that made it possible. Netanyahu? Why the hell does Netanyahu have to do? What's Netanyahu have to do with the pardoning of Honduras' former president on drug trafficking that was sentenced in the U.S. on drug trafficking charges? Why did Netanyahu interject to that? Why? So the alleged leak comes at a time when diplomatic relations between Mexico and the United States are at their most strained. And it says this is further exacerbated by Trump's repeated threats to intervene in Mexico against organized crime. Trump's relationship with Petro has been less than cordial, despite smoothing things over during a visit, but not before Petro had his visa revoked and was called a narco by the Republican pressure. So what we're seeing now is, for some reason, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu decided to join in and help pardon him. I mean, he's saying it himself. Hernandez is saying himself, Netanyahu had everything to do with the pardon. And this is not just one article. I mean, these are repeated articles that were putting out the same story. So why? Well, I would assume that Netanyahu obviously helped him out with the pardon because they're all working together with Javier Milei, with Netanyahu, with Trump. Okay, we're going to go ahead. We're going to pardon this guy. We're going to start disseminating. We're going to really destabilize all of these governments that are left-wing, especially governments now. Israel's interest doesn't really care about whether they're left-wing or right-wing. Israel's interest is that they love Israel. So Israel's jumping in. Javier Milei, right-wing, I guess you could say, whatever that means, but he's a Zionist. Trump, Zionist. The Zionism is what ties them all together, and they're flipping over governments. I can promise you this. If there was a right-wing government, whatever that means, in South America that didn't support Zionism, I think they would still be on this chopping block. I think they'd still be on this chopping block. So it makes you question, okay, what's more important, the right-wing part of them or the Zionist part of them? It's the Zionist part of them. That's what's really happening here. And it's kind of, you know, what's interesting is we keep hearing about these coups, but nobody seems to be doing anything to really stop it. And we're already starting to see, I mean, Gustavo Petro, I think, you know, he was already going through elections and everything else. I think his opposition has been doing well. I mean, this is where we're at now. This is what the CIA does, but now it's just being done out in the openly. And Claudia Sheinbaum, she went out and she said, oh, Trump's not involved in this. I think she just said that because she just didn't want to directly call out Trump in the mainstream media because she knew that would end up getting backlash to her. That's personally my opinion on the matter. I think she knows full well what's happening in the back end and who's the cause and who's involved and what the reason is. Keep in mind that Mexico also, I believe they have a Palestinian ambassador as well. So, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious to be able to tell where all of that is coming from. Here's another. Let's see if there was another article on it. Here's another one in another Latin American magazine. Hondurasgate, a transnational disinformation campaign network involving actors from Honduras, Argentina, Israel, and the United States reveal how automatic alignment continues to undermine Latin American autonomy and deepen external interference into regional political disputes. And basically says very much so of the same. Regardless of the findings of Hondurasgate, there is evident current practice of alignment between the Latin American right, United States, and Israel. The objective of these actors appears to be contributing to U.S. efforts to shift the region toward the right. From the perspective of Israel, the prevalence of right-wing governments serves the goal of pushing China away from the region. From Israel's perspective, the alliance with Christian Zionist groups, evident in its closeness to political figures in South America, may secure diplomatic backing amid the ongoing international criticism over both the genocide in Gaza and the wars in Iran and Lebanon. Interesting. See how everything, I mean, even in South America, all roads lead back to Tel Aviv. Ooh. So, anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you found this video interesting, I'd appreciate it if you just go ahead and click the subscribe button and give it a thumbs up as well. It helps me reach more people like you. And one of the best ways to support my channel is by joining as a member. So if you click the join button below next to the subscribe button, you can join as a member now. You get to see those fun emojis in the comment section, like the JFK emoji and the censored emoji and all of those other emojis. You can use those emojis too when you join as a member. That's how everybody else in the comments has them. And then you get to also see member-only videos I do pretty often on here. Hope you guys found this video interesting, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Take care and have a great day. Bye, everybody.